What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 21 of my Total War Warhammer 3 Sea Lord Aislinn Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, we have fought the final battle of the campaign, in a sense, as in the final quest battle that enabled us to get the Starwood cache and an additional dragon ship on top of 3 additional colony slots. And that was the sort of final objective of the long victory, aside from the sort of ancient colonies and all that, and we're definitely in the sort of end stage of the campaign now, sort of just screwing around for a couple more episodes as we complete the objectives and do a few more fun fights. Should be a fun time. Luckily, unlike most campaigns, since this one has barely any building admin to speak of, the sort of turns can go quickly for us to get to those fights that we want to get to, so let's get to them. What do we have here? Imric for Tulios. Alright, so you, I believe, were the one who has not yet moved. Let's grab the Remnants of Battle, Hall of True Silver, grab the next island real quick, Arms and Armor, and grab the Mysterious Island real quick, and Power of Rage, out of which we got Mathlann's Blessing and Heavy Iron, and then we'll march stance or full speed stance through the sea lane right here, like so. And this will take us right to the doorstep of Dekala. Huh, I thought this was... what the heck? Okay, so why is this taking one turn? It's not supposed to take any turns. Well, whatever. We want to knock Dekala out, since the game is refusing to do it for the... just finish the Slaaneshi off here, despite the fact that they've been at war with everybody for a long time. Again, I still think it's kind of a dumb behavior that they programmed into the AIs, but... well, it's not the only one, so let's face it. Anyway, skip outpost upgrade. Where was the outpost? Oh, we don't care about the Nagaroth outpost. Alright, I believe we're good. We got 1 turn until the Invocation of Vol, so it's on the turn. We also knocked out Ikit Claw last time with Sea Lord Aislinn, just because we could. Did almost take a nuke, which fortunately didn't do that much damage to, I believe it hit some Oceanas or something, so not super concerning. Alright, let's see what else we have here. Scryer actually still have a decent balance of power, I have to say. They are still kicking after all. And I just saw some territories change in the Empire there, but probably nothing too major. Ironclaw Orcs, unfortunately, still not at war with the last defenders, which is what we've been wanting. Hopefully we can make it happen at some point. Supervisor, Constructor, Rite of Awakening, Scheme of Doom, Ally begins outpost construction, diplomatic relations with all factions, Invocation of Vol and Asurian, Skycutter Chariot for Builder. I mean... would probably be a nice thing for a builder to have. I'm not even sure we need builder anymore. But I guess we... I don't know, just keep bouncing between these 2 settlements. The reductions are probably no longer all that relevant anymore. Anyway, let us complete some of these things. We're starting to use chariots in decent numbers, and ooh, let's get great weapons. +4 armor-piercing weapon damage for Phoenix Guards, Swords Masters, White Lions, and Dragon Princes. The more units they buffs, the better, the higher value. Invocation of Vol time for that item. Let's see what we got. Oh, wouldn't you look at that. We finally get a chest of sustenance at a point within the campaign where we no longer need it, which is kind of amusing. We got the Gilded Horn of Galan Canuck. When's a magic reduction for Lore of Metal? I'm almost tempted to give this to the Spearman army, the Seagold army. We'll do that. Don't get me wrong, I do also like the Diamond Guardian Phoenix, although the damage resistance about 5% is nice. The effect range being so short means it only affects basically 2 units. Let's go for the Gilded Horn. It's one of the things we don't have. If this was the early to mid game, I would obviously go for the Chest of Sustenance. It just isn't as needed here. You can have the horn there. There we go. All different items. I kind of like that too. Anyway, Armandus, I guess we're starting with you today. You are going to move southward towards the remnants of the rats. I don't know whether we actually need to... oh. Handbow is gonna grab a Wallatal. I was hoping that... oh, actually, maybe he won't. Actually, maybe he will. I guess we'll have to see. You know what, Salandor, I'm gonna have you... move closer.
Can I offer assistance?
A bit of an annoyance, but it is what it is. Anyway, you go help against the rats, please, Armandus, and then Salendor, you have reached rank 5. Yes, meaning you can complete your royal sales, your arcane airy, and most of the stuff is free now, which is great. What do we want next? This will give us ward save for all units, so this will give us... I mean, obviously we're getting everything, so it doesn't really matter. I just build everything one by one. Anyway, that's you two. Looking good. Arathond, you who have now defeated Valkia. Man, can we... I was wondering whether we could just move southward, and yeah, but I'd like the eagles to heal up, and then we can swap to march stance, because it's going to otherwise take too long. You. Saji, you can reach the Twisted Towers, though admittedly so can Mantressa. The that's not very well defended. I guess we could move the tech thieves. At least the ones that are here first. I'm trying to remember who Elena is. Oh, right, the Honed Handmaiden, which is supposed to join Mantressa's army. You know what, then we'll do this. You... You know what, don't even bother reinforcing, go like this. We'll have Saji take it. And then we can pop Elena into your army. Even is supposed to go into Exarian's army. Actually, Exarian, can you reach Cliff of Beasts? You cannot, so we'll just wait until next turn. I did not mean to do that. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. I was clicking one army, but then it reselected, and now you... great. Now you're in the wrong stance, and we're suffering attrition. But what can you do? Alrighty, so, Exarian, then you are gonna go here, I guess, and we're gonna pop you into your... Huh? Oh, right, one less spear. Like so, and if we can get another Honed Noble, that would be just lovely. Actually, soon I think we won't need to steal tech anymore. Just a little bit more, a few more turns, and we should be good to complete the rest of the techs without the need. Alrighty, anyway, Saji, then you're gonna grab the Twisted Towers for our Eltharian, our Everesian friends, I guess. Auto-resolve. And don't bother sacking it, just establish outpost for Everest, like so. I would have possibly liked to wipe Malus out before the end of the campaign. Feels appropriate to end the campaign with the Druki threat completely neutralized. Anyway, you're gonna suffer attrition by the looks of it. Mantressa, you... Huh? Oh. Oh, that's a tech thief. Okay, I thought that was the Handmaiden, which is in here now, but needs to level up before she can give hawkish precision to this army, which does need. You're gonna go into march stance then. Go this way. And you will move up in the north, and then one of you will move down here, and then one of you can set sail. Yeah, alright, that's the way to do it. Artheus the Vengeful, you've got places to be, sir. You know what, I know that you can build stuff, but I think I'm just going to put you into a full speed stance and start moving this way. And just to speed matters along a teensy bit. Aislinn, you're kind of in the same position. First, I'd like you to see if there are any rats at Ziflin. There are no rats at Ziflin, so do nothing. I'm not even going to give this to an ally. Just go for... I guess go for Montfort. There is a little army backing up. It's not a very strong one, though. Especially compared to Ikit's force. And do we want to give Montfort to anybody, or do we want to just sack it or raise it? What do we... Oh! That's not bad. I didn't think that there would be another stack in here. Is this a minor settlement? No, it's a field battle. Oh, Aislinn. You actually found a fight worthy of your attention. I love it. Alright, so we'll fight in a second. I'm immediately excited because I wasn't expecting this. Rodir the Brave, your army is almost finished, although you can take the opportunity to build your sails, I guess. To move a little bit faster, Imric, one more turn of recruitment, I guess, and you're going to be done as well. Feratulios, you have reached Akala, but you won't be able to land until next turn, eh? Fair enough.
I will begin again soon.
Are you guys really just sitting out here and not... cheap game. Okay. Inrian the Just, you could... Well, what you actually want is access to global recruitment, but that's going to be a bit until you can get it, so here's what we'll do. Loremaster? Oh, right, you're gonna go north to join the Phoenixes, and I would like to see what other heroes we have going for us here. In case there are some nice ones. Okay, not so happy about you guys, or you guys. Or you guys. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Blade Lords aren't nice. Well, actually, we could get one of these guys for you. Maybe put a couple of Swords Masters in your army. Is that actually better than having a resilient one? I don't know. They're both fine. It depends on if we use both types of units. Maybe we will. Screw it. And go for the Blade Lord. Why not? We can use Swords Masters and White Lines. It's going to be a generalist army after all. Alright, so anybody else need to do anything? Oh, that army's going to need a mage. Which of the magics do we not have? We don't have a light mage, as I recall. We have life, we have high, we have metal, we have fire, we have death, we have beasts, do we have shadows? I don't remember if we have shadow. We definitely have heavens. I don't remember if we have shadows. We definitely don't have light, though, so let's go with you. Light it is. Limber.
You have use of
Alright, and you can join that other army. Now don't scout the ruins. Alright, anybody else, or are we ready to fight? Inrion, you're just going to... Well, you know what? You can move. And go northward. Maybe fight some Norskins. Alright, tech thieves. Most of you shall move real quick, because you're kind of in the same place. A and B.
Mage of Ulfwan.
It's going to be a long time before you're needed again. So, Zubaran, you are supposed to join one of these armies. And I don't remember which one. It's not Fedion's army, is it? It's... Wait, is it this army that you were supposed to join for Tulios's? No, they have the High Mage. Whose army were you supposed to join again?
The winds are rising.
For the life of me, I don't remember. You were earmarked for a specific army, but I don't remember which one. All right, I'll figure it out later. Let's just leave you there for now. Tech thief, steel tech, real quick.
I have the skill.
And maybe we'll actually either complete or come close to completing our all of our high elf techs. Probably impossible in SFO because there's so many more of them, but in vanilla, it's looking like a bigger possibility with every passing episode. Alrighty, and we are looking to move now. So Aislinn, if I can find you in here, buddy. Let's have a nice fight, shall we? And I assume these guys will have another nuke available to... They will not have another nuke available to them. Interesting. Wait, and the second army doesn't either? Huh, I guess it had the only nuke in possession at the time, which kind of makes sense. Alright, close victory, medium casualties, lots and lots of rats, tons of the Doom Flares, 5, 6, 7 of them. Lots of good stuff, rattling guns. Lots of storm vermin, artillery, go.
The Asur Navy shall always protect Ulfwan.
Alrighty, here we go. Well, at this point, the Asur Navy has certainly protected Ulfwan, and we're just screwing around now. Haven't fought a lot of rats in this particular campaign, and we're going to enjoy these 2.5 stacks. Probably a fair bit more than that of Ikit Claw, despite the lack of nuke. These guys do have a lot more units, and especially the 8 units of Doom Flayers led by 2 Doom Wheels. Pretty darn solid. Anyway, Mr. Aislinn generally does his own thing rather than staying with the rest of the army, and is here going after the assassin, who in 2 hits will lose about 50% of his HP. And this just kind of harkens back to my Imric campaign, whereas Imric was so insanely buffed up that he was killing lords in 1 hit or sometimes 2 hits after charging or landing. It was absolutely insane. Aislinn isn't quite there to that same degree of lethality, but is still pretty darn solid. Anyway, looks like this first army is in pretty bad shape, but the interesting aspect of this is that the reinforcements are coming in behind us with some fast movers in there as well. And of course, there's still a fair few of the enemy units that remain. We've prioritized making sure that the rattling guns cannot close the distance and are now working away at the enemy warp grinders, and don't want them using their seismic snare and warp quake either. Alright, nice to see all of our range units firing as well, rather than being bogged down or bugged out by too many range units, or too many units on field. Although admittedly the Skaven are sort of a big issue with regards to that bug, generally speaking. Oh. I don't know why, but the mereworms are so adorable with their attacks. Alrighty, well, it looks like that poor pile of Skaven got crushed, and we, by the looks of it, are going to have to reposition somewhat. Between the enemy coming in from behind us and the fact that this first army has really spread out a lot, we are going to have to sort of form ranks in such a way that we can fire in all directions. Alrighty, and what do we have here? Night Runners, Gutter Runners, whatever. Units in the center are destroyed, but look at those Doom Flayers. They're getting ready to move on in and hit us in the flanks. One unit is out, and we're probably going to have to try our best to catch out a few of them with our own single entities, whether it be the Mist Mages or here, one of the Nobles, which has been doing solid damage to one of them, but is now caught by a unit of Death Runners and Skaven Slaves and whatever other piles of rats the enemies brought to bear. Our melee troops have also moved into the fight now, as obviously we are surrounded and getting attacked everywhere. The company of the Calendyrian facing off against some Storm Vermin with sword and shield. No, Clan Rats and Storm Vermin with sword and shield. Nope, Clan Rats and Storm Vermin with halberds. I don't know why I said sword and shield when both of them clearly have a spear and a halberd, but anyway. 8966 on these guys. Looking pretty darn solid though. And certainly our ship's companies pretty much outstat Storm Vermin in most ways now. Minus armor, of course, but, well, there isn't really any way we could get their armor up too much higher. Alright, if you will drop, we're going to try to keep them healed as well with the Ladriel's Shroud. Not as needed on our single entity slash heroes this time around, because while the Doomflayers are threatening to our infantry, they're not really all that threatening to our single entities. There we go, big ol' hit from that sea elemental sends more rats flying. The red shirts here down to 40% of their HP, and well, the annoying aspect of fighting the Skaven is certainly rearing its ugly head here, as many of their troops rally over and over again, and our pitched battle remains, and we remain completely surrounded. Instead of facing one direction, our units of Sea Guard have sort of circled. We have no wagons, but whatever. And are just doing their best to fire everywhere. The Asur fires drop down on an enemy blob, and the balance of power has shifted to about 80%. However, so surrounded or not, sooner or later, the enemy will fail. A very nice Warp Lightning comes down into the company of the Calendyrian, who are down to half of their HP. The Lord has found one of the Doom Wheels, which is a Warlock on Doom Wheel, a Warlock Master with Doom Wheel. And actually, the Doom Wheel Warlock Master is doing surprisingly good. The Noble is barely winning this fight, which is kind of impressive. Alright, select one eye, we're keeping kind of near to the formation. We need some big units, essentially, with a lot of mass close by, just to prevent this exact thing with those Doom Flayers. And there we go, we use our Mist Mages to sort of anchor their lines as well, together with the other big boys. And the medium boys. Alright, there we go. Crushing a few more of those Doomflayers, and Select's going to get stopped by the seismic snare of those Warp Grinders, which, like the other rats, did return. But not too many more rats left to come back onto the battlefield. The bounce power is at about 90% in our favor. The Noble has at last, though it was a very close call. In fact, it looks like the Warlock Master was winning at the end there. Huh. Well, that's quite surprising. Well, good job to the Doom Wheel. That's a pretty scary machine. Anyway, I was going to move Aislinn in to, you know, insta-kill the Warlock, but smartly the Warlock popped a Howling Warp Gale, which will allow it to maybe escape. There we go. A very nice fight against the rats, I have to say. I really enjoyed that one. Alright, there we go. Very solid fight, and did feel like we were on the verge, at least, of getting overrun for a lot of that time, though at the end of the day, the enemy failed to leverage their strengths, which was those giant piles of Doom Flayers, which could have been very dangerous to our forces if the enemy had better put them to use. Alas, they did not, and like everybody before them, were destroyed by Aislinn. Close victory, we are not actually interested in the place, so we will, I guess, raise it? Well, this kill our movement range, because we get the 30% recovery post-battle. What happens? I don't know. What happens if we raise? Let's find out. We raise. Can we still chase you down? Would be good if we could. Yes, we can. Alright, you guys here will chase down Mr. Charge Lock. And that'll resolve him.
Seagull.
Love the little nuke explosion. Oh, wow, that killed the Company of Calendarian. Take the forced labor, I guess, though, as the Chaos Dwarfs, I'm sure, could attest. What the heck? Speaking of dwarfs, stop running through Athalloran. Okay, well, I feel like at some point those guys are going to get annoyed and kill them all. Ooh, Talisman of Sapphire, dampened effect. Huh, that's quite nice. We are building Phaedion's army, and, well, I don't know if we'll ever be able to get to use it, but if we do, could use that there. Because Zotes also have the dampened effect. And auto-resolve, this will not, by the looks of it, kill the company, so good. And raise this place as well. We don't even need the money, considering the sack value is worth more than the raise. Influencer has a great eagle. No, none for you. And a briar sheath. Oh, we didn't have a briar sheath yet? Huh, I thought we had. Alright, clan scryer, good. I don't know, I said good after scryer. We've got... Okay, where's Aislinn? He's here. We are in friendly territory, or we will be in a second, so I guess we can heal there. Go through Aquitaine, and then Brienne, Carcassonne, and then down here. We gotta get to the Pirates of Sartosa and wipe them out after all anyway, so... Yeah, alrighty. Anybody else, I believe? No, we checked everybody, so building. Real quick. Turtle Isles, we will upgrade your... outposts. Here we will upgrade the... Nope, not that. We will upgrade the Noble Consulate because we need those everywhere. Grab that Die Maker, grab that Asur Spire, and... not a lot of building to do as usual. Alright, man, looks like we're good. And we can upgrade the village. Huh? Building upgrade in Xarian's army. Oh, I didn't even realize, buddy. Let's get you your crew growth increase and... Well, actually, you know what? Wait. Yeah, get this, but do we want to wait for 6? Or do we want to upgrade the sail? You know, just upgrade the sail. It's not a big deal. We do want to be able to move further, faster, etc. And assign skill points, outpost upgrades, and... Ooh, wait. Did the outpost for Talzin get completed? The tier 2. It did not. Alright, not yet. Alright, well... This'll take us a little bit closer to it. Alright, Mother of Stankia, you want a non-aggression pact. We will want one with you, eventually, after we take the ancient colony. And let's see if anybody else will attack us here. Let me guess, the Great Defenders or the Last Defenders are going to take... Yeah, they're going to take Gronti Mingle, which is just so annoying. Leave the ancient colonies out. I guess we don't really need them all. It's just the principle of the thing. We've already canceled several agreements just to grab a few extra. With Bordelot, with Ostankia. Although Bordelot at least is a great friend now, anyway. And great weapons, and next we will follow that up with... I'm going to say... let's go healing salve. Casualty replenishment rate is always of good value. Armandus, you. Do we need to help against the last territory of the rats? I don't know, but in case we do, go over there and then you can set sail out of there. You. You are... Are you able to reach us or are you not? It's kind of unclear. I think you are. Alright. Tech Thief, Steel Tech. Does Rikarth have anything worth fighting? No, not really. Alright, so... I guess the problem with this is... Yan Bo will be here. I wonder, we tell you to occupy this, like so. We will tell you to besiege this, and then sit there. I don't think the enemy is going to attack. We'll waste the turn just to try to prevent the border gore. I want to see if the Bretonians are going to be able to go to Wallatal to try to help out. And then maybe they can occupy it, because it's going to bother me so much that these guys would have one territory in the middle of this. It has no impact whatsoever on the game, but it has an impact on me and my and my mental health, because I'm going to know that the borders are messed up there. But anyway, you all right? Suffer a couple of turns of attrition. In fact, I think you're ready to go out to sea. Go southward. I don't think you're... Yeah, you can go to Norska, Earthon. You're probably not needed to help against Malus, who, by the looks of it, is pretty much done for. Let's move the tech thieves real quick, though admittedly most of them don't even need to be moved. Secure influence with one of the influencers. We got at least one more big fight out of a Blackrock here, so that's nice to see, eventually.
There will be carnage.
Alrighty. Who is Arathian? Arathian and Senga. Oh yeah, you're both going to join the new guy. Something Inrian the Just, or whatever his name was. Inrian the Just. Okay, I can't believe I got that correctly. But anyway. Oh, we got a great eagle on one of the influencers. On the other hand, our money is fine, so maybe not a big deal. Who are you again? Exhilarated. Phoenix guy. Yes, go northward. You're good where you are. Builder, I don't imagine we need to construct anything in either one of these locations as yet, because we're waiting for growth. Tech thieves. You use steel tech here, and oh, you gotta be kidding me. Just as we get here, they defeat Takala. Yeah, well, like I said, this is why we're at the sort of end of the campaign. You know what? Go here. Wait, are we trading with you? We are not trading with you, yeah, but minus 35 is unlikely. I was gonna say join the war against the Tormentors, which is basically worthless, but we'll do it anyway. We'll sack it, and I'm going to hope that they'll occupy it. Huh. I wonder if they're gonna start fighting Kugath as well. They are fighting Kugath, but they don't seem to want to leave the borders of Katha. Yeah, you go here. Back hidden landing.
Instrument of the...
Auto-resolve. Sack. I'm not gonna establish a colony and then go back to sea. And back through the sea lane that you came from. And then you were going to... Oh, I was gonna tell them to occupy it. Hopefully they can do it themselves. Don't make us come back here. Please. Alrighty, Saji. Real quick. You are still fairly damaged from needing to be encamped. Let's say if we move Mr. Xarian into the Cliff of Beasts, it would allow Saji to reinforce while encamped. Alright, so we'll do that, and then we'll reinforce, which will reduce the amount of damage we take there as well. So Saji, go right past it, please. Mantressa, you need to go in and camp. And who will get the final fight against Malus's forces? We shall see. Establish outpost for Ivras. Like so. And can you encamp? You can encamp. Beautiful. Alright. And Druki Destroyer and Armor of Fortune. Could always use more items. Alright, buildings built real quick. And then how many more territories do you have remaining? 4. Alright, nearly completely destroyed. Rakartha's nearly done. All the Dark Elves are nearly gone. Artheus. Well, I was sailing you up here to grab Granti Mingol. That's not happening anymore unless we can get you to fight the orcs, which would be just swell. Join war against Ironclaw orcs. Minus 8. 91,000. Funnily enough, we could threaten them into it. I wonder, would the orcs be able to take this? Almost tempted to threaten them into it, but it will tank our reliability. I'm just gonna hope that it'll happen on its own. Admittedly, the last defenders have so many armies, they'd probably be able to... Okay, we're not giving you 91,000 gold. Don't be ridiculous. They're probably able to deal with it anyway. Where is Xarian or whoever it was? Artheus, rather. Alright, go this way. I guess we're heading towards Sartosa. Hopefully we can get a nice fight out of it. It's a tier 5 settlement, and as long as we can reach it before anybody else does, our swordsman should certainly have something to do. What if Mad Melitson will attempt to attack us? He'd be a fool too, but the rogue fleets have a tendency, so you never know. Aislinn. Quickly, oh, maybe not so quickly. I was gonna say quickly go down to Brian, and these guys are probably going for Carcassonne and stuff. Well, we're still gonna raise the place, so keep on going. Oh, actually, you can go into Lilith's Blessing because you are in need of mana. There we go. Alrighty, Mantressa is fine. Rodier the Brave. Your army is now complete. Do you need to build anything ship-wise? You do not. So, you are free to grab Avalorn for Norska. Grab Norska for Avalorn, not Avalorn for Norska. And if your first fight can be against Wulfric, That'd be lovely. Sending the forest spirits out into the cold. Imric, you're ready as well. Alrighty, well, there is only one set of dragon-like lizards that we like, and that's dragons, so you're gonna go down here. Oh, Sea Corps will probably get a fight out of this. Alright, go down here. I decided to ultimately build a bunch of silver helms here, just... I know, it's a silly army, but we've got most of what we need here in Imric. And obviously I didn't want to just spam silver helms, or spam dragon princes. Though funnily enough, they're basically at the same cost of silver helms. They're also significantly tougher and buffed by Imric and all that. So I didn't want to overdo it. Anyway. Henry and the Just, you are headed out here. Can you, well, go right beside that Sea Corps. Should probably use you to global recruit once we land somewhere. Oh, whoa. I didn't see Odin the Slasher. I kind of like the name. I wonder if he beats Carl here. And, oh, whoa. Well, that's concerning. You won't win this if we fight. I'm extremely concerned now. Let us grab you, Militia Master. Yeah, grab you, Militia Master. And I'm not sure what else with regards to all this. What exactly you're going to have in your army. Once again, it's probably just a mix of various things. Let's go Master Strategist. We did get that Blade Lord out here, but yeah, if this army moves towards us with all of those super high veteran elites, not going to be able to win there, buddy. Well, good luck. Either you survive or you don't survive, not my problem. Maybe slightly my problem, but anyway, let's do the building, such as it is. You need to construct the coastal shipyard there, Citadel of... Huh. Wait. What was in the Citadel of Dusk that... Huh? I'm confused. Did we destroy buildings here? This looks weird to me. I don't know. Weird. Oh well. Build stuff anyway. There you go. Not sure what happened there, but I suppose it's not ultimately super important. What the heck happened in Marienburg? Whoa. Did it get hit by a scheme of doom? It got hit by a scheme of doom, didn't it? This place used to be tier 4? Yeah, we took it from frickin' rats, man. Okay, well, not important, but if this was earlier in the campaign, I would be duly annoyed. Anyway, what else do we got here? Let's keep building those buildings and ending those turnings. Alrighty, like so, and I guess we're good. So we'll skip outposts, skip everything but one thing. Where's Phaedian? I want to see one thing. So, how's that recruitment going? Globally, not gonna do anything, but here... Actually, no, wait. One more Zote could work. Heralds of Ariel. Let's get one more Zote. There we go. 4 Zotes, couple of Celestial Lions, which were in Phaedian's army in her debut campaign. She's supposed to have an aura that sort of cleanses the chaos elements of chaos mutants, and Celestial Lions kind of makes sense in this particular situation. Actually, it would be nice to have some lizards in your army, but if we end up fighting one of the lizards, then it doesn't really help us out that much. Anyway. The rest of this is fine. Maybe get some Sky Cutters in here. Yeah, because we need to... This is not an army that would be particularly good at artillery sort of deals, so yeah, let's go 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that'll be put 19 out of 20, and I guess we'll put a Noble in here, and then we'll be good. The Noble can move with the chariots, or with the... or fly, and it doesn't matter. Alrighty. That's another complete army. We're done with all of this. We'll end the turn. I assume there was nothing else that we needed to do, but I guess we'll find out. We're besieging Wallatal, which is as it's supposed to be, and then hopefully next turn either the Bordlow Errant will move towards it, or the Jade Court. What do you want, Mazda? You want to pay? Wow, you're willing to pay us a lot. You're losing, I take it, judging by the amount that you're willing to pay us, eh? Well, good for you. Or maybe not so good for you. Yeah, I wonder, is Bordlow Errant or the Jade Court ahead? Who's ahead of who in terms of the turn order? Because that will determine who gets to take that settlement. Will we find out? Maybe not this turn. All right, okay, yeah, now the Tormentors get destroyed and the followers of Nakash get destroyed. Yeah, we're basically kind of out of enemies. Pel Cargo? Yeah, grab Pel Cargo. Arms and armor, and then back to full speed stance. Then you're gonna go find Kugath, Zubaran. I have not decided whose army to put you in.
Sailing.
I was tempted to put you into Fadian's army, but do we need another caster in it? Admittedly, the reason that Zubaran is at such a high level is because she has already had plenty of fighting in this particular campaign, but nonetheless. Anyway, you're going to Subaton to help out, should it be needed, and you need to get a little bit closer there. Oh, actually, they should be able to reach it. Yeah, alright, fine. We will sack the place then. Auto resolve. And we'll get out of here and we'll let them deal with it. She'll tell us sack, I guess? We need to raise it. And we can't, for some reason, trade territories with this particular faction. Like, the game doesn't let us, so... Alright, anyway, we've got a date with the sea. And these guys can deal with it. And I assume they are friendly, so they won't be fighting each other. Alright, looks good to me. Who else do we have here? Arathond, I believe I was sending you out to sea, though let's move you while channeling. You shouldn't suffer attrition here anyway, so you're good. Saji. Malus will probably be back by the time we get to Black Rock, which is going to be defended by like 3 stacks, which is pretty fun. Xarian. How healthy are you? I wonder if they'd sally out to attack you, because you have basic spears, so maybe they would. Alright, you go here. Tech Thief. Tech Thief. Influencer. Saji. They wouldn't attack Saji because he's, well, the Phoenix, Caradrian's Phoenix Guard are too strong, but the rest are certainly a possibility. Don't we have a bunch of other tech thieves here? You know what? Maybe we don't need to move them. You have 20 turns. I think our techs will be completed by then. There's no need. 16 turns? Yeah, you know what? Screw it. I'm not moving them anymore. We can keep moving these 3 because they're kind of close together, but I don't feel like moving the others. What about, okay, so just to check where the others are. So you're here, Dragon Fang Mount. I may or may not move you again. You have 37 turns. Yeah, we don't need to move you ever again. Who else? And just to cut down on the admin of having to move heroes around everywhere, I'll move you 2 now. You, Tech Thief, are no longer needed here, and you have 52 turns and never need to move again. You just reached turn 10, but you don't need to move again. You have 35 turns, you don't need to move again. Zubaran, you're okay. Yeah, and I think that's it. Alright, we don't need to move the heroes again. That should save us several minutes in going forward. Odin the I guess Odin the Slasher defeated Karl? No, Karl ran away to Dietershofen, and then Odin decided not to attack Ricker's Point. Okay, well, you can't win, and, I mean, maybe. You need to complete your army, though. We need a global recruitment for that as well. Halar. I once again forgot you're the Phoenix guy. Rodir. Go in non-march stance in case Wolfric tries to attack you. His army actually seems inferior to that other army, but, you know. And I stopped doing things in order again, didn't I? Alright, damn it. Alright, you. I just get the Elven Sail, screw it. Alright, let's go from the top. Alright, so we moved Armandus, we've moved Salendor, we've moved Saji, Artheus, yes. Are you in range of Sartosa? You are. I guess what we'll want to do here is besiege it and let them sally out, maybe? I could do the mist landing stance. Yeah, fine. Oh, if we mist landing Aranessa, we should be able to just draw them all out, right? It's not like an ambush, right? Like it... ignoring impassable terrain... I assume it's not like a teleport ambush and that it will draw the garrison out, because that's what I want here. Let's level up under the assumption that that's the way that it works. You. I think, much as the ward save is nice and Guardian is nice, we want to buff up our troops more in this particular army, so we'll grab Spirited Presence into Sense of Duty for the Martial Mastery, as well as the Hold the Line, a little bit of extra melee defense for everybody, and Foe Seeker as well. And the same thing for you, sir, Spirited Presence, Sense of Duty, and we will also, I guess, start moving towards Colossal Strike. Good. What about the 2 Lore Masters? You reached rank 10. And I guess we could reduce the upkeep on the Swords Masters. Or I'll get you Chronicler's Wisdom, a little bit of spell resistance for the entire army. Yeah, it's probably the better thing. And then what do you have in terms of spell work? 2 points in Earth's Blood, 2 points in Spirit Leech. We actually need a second point in Vissen's Wild Form, Metal Shifting, and then Earthing. Like so. Oh. Now you need rank 14 to have Glamour of Hoeth, so we are fine there. Vissen's Wild Form, nope. Evasion, Life Leeching, Metal Shifting. Yeah, I probably could have gotten a second point in Spirit Leech, but all good. Wait. That was the second guy? Okay, yeah. For a second I thought I got the wrong trait. What about you, Arthas? We have Militia Master and we have Master Strategist. We have Heart of Flame. For the 2 dragons. And the Movable Force. And I believe we don't need anything else. Wait, unless Silver Torrent... Yeah, and we get Silver Torrent. Oh, right. For some bizarre reason, the Dragon Ship Admirals need all 4 points here in order to grab Stand Your Ground, which weird, but whatever. Anyway, time, I think, for a hopefully... Yes, hopefully epic fight. There we go. Our swordsmen, including our pretty solid ship's companies. Now this is without even seeing the resistance, the martial prowess bonuses, or the fact that they're nowhere near rank 7, mind you. But still looking pretty solid. And of course they also have the 10 missile. Oh right, we also got to get them that one upgrade that will give them 9 ward save. Anyway, go.
Asurian watches us from the heavens and sees our brilliant ranks of fearless warriors to victory!
Alrighty, here we go. Well, with the Dark Elves pretty much destroyed, it is primarily the rats and the vampire coast that remain as our foes in the end of this campaign, and also at long last our swordsman companies are getting ready to fight. 65 armor, 59, 72 melee attack and defense on the ship's companies, discounting all of their resistances, and by the looks of it, they have more melee defense than the Swordsmasters do now. Of course, that's that won't make them that much more tanky, I imagine, but yeah, plus 11, minus 11 in terms of their melee attack and defense. I like it a lot. We're going to move the ship's companies in forward with their silver shields to absorb a few more hits than the Swordsmasters do, though I imagine since the Swordsmasters do have the ability to deflect shots, I wonder what that offers in terms of their capabilities. Is that just the bronze shield? So I do wonder whether it would be more effective to have the ship's companies or the swordsmasters out of it. 55% is obviously bigger than 35, but these guys also have half their armor. Hard to say. Anyway, in addition to that, over all the way on the flank as the sort of faster elements of this particular army, we have our 2 units of Blade Singers, which we have borrowed from the Wood Elves, and they're moving together with our Rangers. Alright, I also note that the Regiment of Renown of the Swordsmasters, the Blades of Hoeth, really match our color scheme as well, because whereas our color scheme is sort of this dark sea blue, I guess, the Blades of Hoeth are sort of a light blue as well, which also looks very nice, I gotta say. Especially with their capes, but does look like a just very slight variation of our own color scheme, which I really appreciate here. Anyway, the battle is about to be joined. We've no artillery, and well, we do have some magics in the form of the Lore Masters. Not a lot of offensive magics. Our offensive magic is stabbing somebody with a ensorcelled blade in the face. But not necessarily in the face. Anyway, we try to send our Lore Master towards dueling with Aranessa, or one of our Lore Masters, but she gets the Spearfisher's Net and traps the said Lore Master. Our Blade Singers are going to mosey on in and start cutting through the ranks of the enemy zombies. So again, it's very weird to see Blade Singers with 100 units in their lines. It's insanity. Oh, vanilla feels so weird because of that. 100 units of Blade Singers. But anyway, the zombies are going to get torn to shreds here, and, well, hopefully torn to shreds everywhere, as our entire front line has clashed with that of the enemy. I do imagine the Sirens will prove a little bit more difficult to take down, thanks to all their physical resistances. And Blades of Hoeth here in the fight against an enemy unit of Depth Guard, they are taking damage, though. I'm going to buff them up with a Vissen's wild form. And they will defeat the depth guard, of course, but they will take damage doing so as well. Alrighty. All swords all the time seems decently effective, though there isn't too much in the way of recourse that we have against the enemy units of bombers or deck droppers floating overhead and dropping bombs upon us. Admittedly, the 50% damage taken on at least a couple of the units of infantry that we have, or at least the swordsmasters, isn't so bad, because while the damage is high, the model losses are low, so they will recover to full or near to full post-battle should they, should they not lose too many more in the way of models. Like this is the one I was thinking of here. It's down to 50% of its HP, but 88 out of 100 units. Let's also cut through nearly 200 of the enemy as well. Lovely. The mountain power is at about 70% in our favor at this point. Still a big old blob of zombies in the woods, and Aranessa has finally been found by that lore master, and yet another spearfisher's net drops upon them. But Aranessa is also surrounded by lore master and, well, by swordsmasters and the lore master. And thus she's going to have a pretty bad time. Or actually, her crab is, because Aranessa's crab does all the work. Never again will I have Aranessa mounted, because it's such a waste of animations, and she has such great animations and no animations whatsoever. On top of that mount, it's the most egregious example of this, by far the worst, because she's just like a I don't know, like a mannequin up there, not moving at all. It's so bizarre. It's like the joke where there's like a dead guy in the car and they just like strap like tie him down to make it look like they're there. You know what I mean? Which I guess since she's been forced into the Vampire Coast kind of makes sense. Anyway, with that, Aranessa has been defeated. The deck droppers fall from the sky, finally pressed by the Moon Dragons, which were at this point dealing with some of the enemy backliners like long range and artillery, and thus had to allow the enemy units to fire upon us. But there we go, with that, the battle is done. Aranessa books it on out of there, and we maybe will be able to melt her away with a couple more spirit leechers, or maybe not. I guess it doesn't matter over much, but I am curious. And one of the dragons does manage to take her down at the very last second, or both of them. I like how these two work in tandem. It almost looks like, from this angle, it looks like a chaos dragon, doesn't it? A chaos moon dragon with its two heads. Alrighty, there we go. Solid fight against Aranessa, who I assume still gives us regeneration at sea, so I guess that makes sense for a dragon ship captain. But yeah, lots of great work out of these swordsmasters. This one getting 17k damage, which was pretty solid. 21k, oh, wow, would you look at that? One of the ship's companies with 21k actually beat out all of the swordsmasters. Not in damage dealt as gold value, perhaps, but in outright damage dealt. And the damage dealt as gold value was actually quite close, so we've finally gotten to the point where our ship's companies are pretty darn devastating. Nice to see the Blade Singers work, and just generally a pretty enjoyable army, I gotta say. I like playing Khorne and stuff, so this army type is definitely up my alley. But anyway, we are going to, I guess, force labor here.
Make good come out of them.
And I can't beat a ship's company, beat a swordsmaster unit. Or several of them, in fact. Alrighty, passive ability regeneration at sea. And, actually, while we're at it, one of you ship's companies, you will be Sea Guardians, like so. I felt like we had to put a name after that, and I guess we'll just take Sartosa for ourselves, auto-resolve. And establish colony. We have the space after all. We get to keep the Peg Street Pawn Shop, and we'll grab the Smithy's Tavern as well and pop you into Expedited Colony, whatever. We'll demolish these two buildings, one of them to be replaced by a defensive structure, and then the other three to be replaced by, well, all the other stuff. Oh! Wait, we can build wine here too? Huh, we actually won't have room for a lot of stuff here. But nonetheless, more landmarks. I gotta collect those landmarks. These guys still do have, I'm actually quite impressed that they have Skaven Blight, and Ikit never retook it. Maybe the dwarfs took Skaven Blight and then they took it from them? I don't know what happened here, because they're best friends with Ikit by the looks of it. Go figure. Well, interesting either way. Aislinn, your move, buddy.
An opportune
Go raise Brienne and then move to raise Carcassonne. Auto-resolve.
commence combat.
And give it the old raise. Well, actually, they're in kind of the same territory. Maybe they do establish some outposts here. We're at 10, 10, 10. Yeah, okay, we're good to basically do anyone. I guess it's Bretonnia, and it's kind of close to where Grom is, so this should be Yvrus, although they've got a lot of territory up here. Yeah. Avalorn's gonna get Norska. Nagaroth gets nothing because they're idiots. And... yeah, why not? Just do another Yvrus, establish outpost. Like so, got a free Talisman of Loek, and looks like we can reach Castle Carcassonne from here as well. Alright, we'll give that one to these guys as well then. Might as well let them enjoy. You won't let us auto. Oh! Would you look at that? That's a lot of rats. Would you look at that? Oh, they've got that. I guess we'll have to let them sally out, see if they're willing, because we can't get a cinematic against this. And the field battle would be a lot more enjoyable than, you know, destroying the enemy from the air and over the walls with our arrows anyway, you know what I mean? So that's what we'll do. Anyway, grab this, approach the carcass, and resolve it real quick, and okay. I guess that's one issue with spamming silver helms in addition to the rest of the units, is that they're going to be disliked by the auto-resolve by virtue of the fact that they're considerably faster than the, well, all the other units in the army. Lion standard for Imric, that should go to the Lion army, really. And then just keep on moving southward, I guess. How many turns until we can declare war on the Daughters of Kislev here? Daughters of the Forest.
The shadows won't bother you.
5 turns. Okay, Imric, I guess you go fight Mazda Mundi a little bit, because that's going to be a while. Alright. But not that, once again, we really need it. We are not moving any more of the heroes. And we got buildings to be built, but not many of those either. 1 and 2. I am so salty about that Scheme of Doom. Like you wouldn't believe. Anyway, let's build the defenses here. Cold Mires, I feel like there we go. Could have sworn we had completed those earlier, but all good. So Brienne, you're a sea territory. Not that even picking these matters really all that much anymore. Like so, we'll see if they are willing to sally out. Right about almost now. Just want to check. Hey, new trade agreements available. Ostermark is somehow magically still alive. I'd love to trade with the Daughters of the Forest, but you know what? Maybe hold on to this. At least for now. Argolon's willing to do straight up military alliance, but there is a chance, Durthu being a maniac, that he attacks the Empire, and, well, it wouldn't be a huge problem for us. It's also probably not something we want to necessarily do right now, so we're just going to ignore it. Building upgrade available. I was about to say I already checked those, but no. We've been kind of going for traders' lodgings. We could go for the diplomatic relations with all factions. Allegiance, allied recruitment, this is all great. Or we just get more money out of the traders' lodgings, which is kind of what we've been doing. But we don't really need money anymore either, because our last armies have effectively been built at this point. Oh, you do want to soar fire, though, in this army, so let's grab Eagle Perch. Alrighty, there we go. Anyway, I believe building unassigned hero, outpost, and turn. Let's see if the rats decide, or dare, I should say, to sally out and attack Mr. Aislinn. No military access for you, Scrag. Frankly, I'm kind of impressed that you're still alive, but that doesn't mean that you're going to get military access out of it, buddy. Yeah, I wonder if the orcs will march towards Sartosa since we've captured it. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't. Malus is back. I wasn't expecting that. I honestly kind of forgot about this because I was going to level you up. Well, you're just going to have to survive now. Good luck.
The time has come to show our prowess once more. The day shall be ours.
Alrighty, here we go. This should be a early fun fight. The Scions of Mathlann lead the sort of sea-going army with all the elementals and the Oceanids. And the weird aspect of this army is that it is, well, A, that it's using basic spearmen at the end of the game, or the end of the campaign. But B, that this army is basically all anvil, no hammer. Obviously, Oceanids and the spears are defensive units. I guess we can consider the Tears of the Other Queen and the other units of Oceanids to be the hammer. But the real hammer here is, well, actually, well, not the Oceanids, just the other sea elementals. The Oceanids are more defensive, even more defensive. The real hammer, I guess, is going to be our magic. So we activate the Horn of Galan Canuck, or whatever the heck it is. I don't remember already. And a Gehenna's Golden Hounds non-overcast, because it's a relatively low-level metal mage, and we don't actually have that as yet. Oh well. Oh well. And do a little bit of damage. Those two spells with 15k, not too bad. The enemy's got some reinforcements moving in, and interesting. Why does it have a unit of Doomfire Warlocks out here? Oh, well, it's going to get mobbed by the spears, which again, just look fantastic in our color scheme, just like everything does. We find out the reason why the enemy sends the Doomfire Warlocks to their, well, doom, because they send the fires of the Black Ark support and down upon us as soon as we get locked in fighting the Doomfire Warlocks. Makes sense. Sneaky little move from the AI, but it does sacrifice the Doomfire Warlocks. I guess they got their Doom Bolt off, did they? I assume so. 1500 damage. Actually seems a little bit light for a Doom Bolt. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. We'll rally, and then I guess we'll see. Anyway, Malus has awaited his reinforcements, and they're on field, so they're going to reposition themselves and start firing away at us. And this fight's going to be a toughie, so let it begin. Alright, just move forward a teensy bit more, and there we go. Going to get another one of those Gehenna's Golden Hounds, and then another Gehenna's Golden Hounds through the enemy ranks, get them on cooldown. Although the Horn only has 2 uses, so we're going to have to rely on our own mana to cast the next. Alright, the Sea Elementals are going to lead the charge, trying to sort of get the enemy to waste as much damage on them as possible, or absorb as many hits as possible, because obviously the spears can only absorb a limited amount. We do have the Moranian's Wayshard in this army, so we were able to, in theory, Vanguard deploy our spears, but in this particular situation, it wouldn't have helped, in the sense that we don't have the ability to deploy or Vanguard deploy the Oceanids and the Sea Elementals, and obviously Blackguard and the Corsairs, really anything that the enemy has, is going to be stronger than our spears. And Anvil on Anvil just doesn't work for Vanguard deployment in this particular case. But anyway, this is a very dangerous portion of the battlefield. We got a couple of War Hydras and a Bloodrack Shrine fighting together. We have led Malus away, who decided to go after our mage, which, you know, very sensible, and are going to sacrifice 1 unit of spears to be dealing with Malus for as long as they can survive. Bounce power is about maybe 30%, 35% in our favor right now, and is looking pretty bad. The Charybdis here is doing very good at damaging the Sea Elemental, despite not having magical damage to get through its 35% physical resistance, and the fact that it has immunity to contact effects. Looking like a very, very dangerous fight if the enemy monsters are also superior to ours, considering we're relying on spears. But definitely an enjoyable one. Maybe this army should have 2 mages so that we can spam Searing Doom. Again, with that sea gold concept that we've got going. Oh, I like the staff of the metal mages, and ooh, more Black Ark support. Yeah, that's also been really quite iffy for us. But oh well, they've got Black Ark support, we've got Searing Dooms coming down upon them, and we need something to deal damage to those Blackguard of Nagaron. Far away from Nagaron now, which has long been in the hands of Aislinn's faction and the Sea Patrol. Alright, it does look like our spears all over the map are in a pretty bad way. These guys are down to 10% HP, these guys and these guys down to 10% HP in routing. These guys are just a sliver of HP now, and the fiery breath from the Hydra isn't helping matters along. Nice railgun blast from one of the Medusa into our damaged sea elemental. Gotta be careful about that, or the thing will fall apart. And these guys do have elemental instability, I take it? Yeah, they do. So, like demons, if they get sufficiently damaged, they're gonna start melting away. Alright, finally though, the Charybdis has been defeated, and our sea elemental will bring it down at last. Though it's not the sea elemental that was fighting it originally, that's the severely damaged one. The balance of power is now 40% in our favor, and the enemy still holds the advantage here. Malus is still at full HP, both War Hydras are at full HP, and they've got 2 Bloodwrack Shrines, I believe. At least 1 Bloodwrack Shrine. One's there. And I don't remember if there's another one. There is a Manticore, there is the Blackguard are obviously still holding. And Malus, I believe, has transformed into Tsarkan back there, so those poor units of spears are not long for this world. I'm going to have to use our water elementals to press the enemy monsters as best we can. Obviously, we can't rely on too many spears anymore because most of them are gone, though the signs of Mathlann are still in the fight at least. I'm going to go up to the Bloodwrack Shrine first because the War Hydras are going to be more difficult to bring down by comparison. And we're going to do our best to use our severely damaged units, there's a lot of them, to try to chase whatever enemies we can. Oceanids here also down to a sliver, just like most of our spears, and this battle is absolutely anybody's game. Alright, keep working on that War Hydra. It's down by 10% of its HP. That's going to take a lot of effort. The other one, however, has reached its healing cap and is down to 50% of its HP, so this one is gonna fall. Last dregs of one of the units of Blackguard with 7 units remaining at 262 HP. We're fighting that Sea Elemental. We're just going to back it off, though. Try to use this high alpha damage to rush that Bloodwrack Shrine while we use our Lord and a charge from the Oceanids to hopefully finish off those Blackguard. Alright, and 5 units down, 135, still fighting, 55 HP and still fighting. And they might as well be unbreakable because they were unbreakable. They fought to the last. Admittedly, it is what I expect of Blackguard of Naggaron, but they aren't unbreakable for the game's purposes, so come on, game. You gotta rout him at some point. Anyway, War Hydra is still in the fight, but the Sea Elemental is holding. The enemy Lord has been killed off by one of our other Sea Elementals, and we're giving chase to enemies with all of our hurt Oceanids, except this one, which is trying to keep the Hydra locked down. Fortunately, again, the Hydra doesn't have or doesn't penetrate physical resistances because it doesn't have magical damage. And these guys have been doing a pretty decent job that's allowing us to deal with the other Hydra. Malus is still in the fight against... I think this is a second unit of spears that we've sacrificed to him now, but it's better that he's distracted fighting a single unit rather than, you know, fighting a blob where he could use all of his Soul Stealer and other abilities. Anyway, another... Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Of course the Hydra heals up again. Another takes its place. But its healing cap's at 40%, and now it's faced with not 1 but 2 Sea Elementals, one of them severely damaged, mind you, but unlike the Charybdises, this thing doesn't have anti-large to rely upon, and they should be able to bring it down. Alrighty, come on. And just trying to keep pace with that healing cap of its. And there is another Hydra as well out here. Good lord, this was a close fight. The balance of power has at last reached our favor, and the Hydra will at last fall, or one of the Hydras will at last fall. Malus has gotten rid of the second unit of spears, and we send the unit of Oceans to deal with him now, while most of the sort of healthier units of Sea Elementals move to the Hydra, while the severely damaged one brings the other Hydra down. I'm so glad we baited Malus into this with Xarian's force rather than Saji's force, because obviously Saji has already fought Malus, and we already know that he and his Phoenix Guard, or Caradrian's Phoenix Guard, I should say, would have obliterated him. Anyway, the War Hydra, the last War Hydra, will shatter, surrounded by 3 Sea Elementals, and it looks like Malus will shatter as well, giving the battle to us. Wait, so I guess he didn't transform into Tsarkan? Maybe, I don't know if he was unable to or something. Interesting. Or maybe it was because we were distracting him with a single unit every time, so transforming wouldn't have yielded a lot of AoE. I don't know how the AI is programmed to use the transformation, but yeah, that was very, very close. I was actually preparing for when Malus is transformed and keeping most of our units that were severely damaged, that were no longer chasing enemies, very far away from him, so that once he transformed, he wouldn't be able to sort of force them to blob up, but would have to waste a lot of his HP chasing the enemy down. Looks like it wasn't needed, but good lord, our ranks of spears absolutely decimated. I don't even know how many survived, and I think one of our heroes died here as well. Pretty sure it was the noble, not the mage, but yeah. Great, great fight. Alrighty, there we go. A very, very fun fight against Malus with our piles of basic spears, a lot of which nearly died. One was destroyed, and even our newly minted noble nobly gave his life for our entertainment. Though in retrospect, I probably should have ran him away so that he survived because of his trait. Not that it matters over much, as Malus's faction might actually be done for, having lost his final stack with this last attempt. And yes, we wanted this, we baited this, as we could have moved Saji in to be beside this army so that Malus couldn't attack, but that was one of my favorite fights in the entire campaign, as it was so close, so down to the wire at the end there. Lovely. Most of our damage came from our Oceanids and not our spears, which primarily hold the line. And hold the line they did. Maybe they could use a little bit of extra weapon strength in the melee attack. I don't know. I will continue thinking about it. For now, we will force the labor. A very fun fight.
To invite the Asur.
Hey, Ruinous, you want peace? No. You're one of our campaign objectives. Emperor Karl Franz, Defensive Alliance. I'm going to say no for now. You got to get friendlier with the Wood Elves because they have units we want, and none of your disgusting gunpowder and stuff is viable for elves. Alright, anybody else going? Oh, are the rats not going to sally out and attack Aislinn? Huh. Ogres, I forgot you existed, declined, but I love you. For once again, as somebody pointed out, defeating the Greybeard's Prospectors. War coordination, target lost, and of course, frickin' oh, the Border Gore. Why, Bordalo Errant? You had every opportunity. Useless. But oh well. A new regional power, Everest, but again, that's us, really. And there we are. Really surprised the rats didn't sally out here. I guess we'll just auto-resolve them. It's a nice stack, but we defeated, you know, twice as much, and since it can't be a cinematic fight, we're kind of past the point in the campaign where we need this, so auto-resolve, and give it to Everest. The new quote-unquote regional power. And then in camp, please, as you head southward towards, I guess, Bilbali. Alrighty, and it looks like the rats as well are on the verge of being wiped out, so, well, I was about to say good for them, but not so good for them, but anyway. With that, I do believe we are pretty much out of time, and I'm going to call the episode here. Next time, we will look to wipe out the Pirates of Sartosa and complete the last of the main objectives here, and if I should decide to grab the other ancient elven colonies, we can do so, but at the end of the day, Pirates of Sartosa are the only real long victory objective that remains. The others are just kind of silly, so we shall see. Anyway, and just a little bit more Aislinn to come, so stay tuned. Don't forget to leave those likes in the comments below. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.